Tonight, you're not the trader, you're the one hunting them. Forget charts for a second. You're sitting in the broker's chair now. Every stop loss placed tonight glows on your screen like a target. Thousands of traders think they're safe. You can see exactly where they're not. One flick of your wrist moves the price, and their money becomes yours. By the end of this, one trader slips through your grip completely. And you will finally understand why you never see it coming until it's gone. Welcome to the other side of the trade. Let's begin the hunt. This room isn't real, but the mechanics inside it absolutely are. Every wall is a screen. Every screen a live feed of retail orders. Below you, thousands of stop losses cluster together like glowing red dots. They gather at the same round numbers, the same obvious swing points. Humans are predictable, and predictable money is the easiest money to take. You don't need to guess where their stops sit, you can see them. That's the entire secret brokers never explain in any onboarding email. Now, let's pick our first target for tonight's hunt together. Here's how the hunt actually works. Step by step, no mystery left. First, price approaches a cluster of stops sitting just below support. You widen the spread slightly, just enough to tag those resting orders. A tiny move for the market, a devastating one for a small account. The stop triggers, the trade closes, and the loss becomes instant profit for you. Shocking part, none of this is illegal. It's just how liquidity providers profit. Second method, the fake out wick, a sharp spike that reverses immediately after. Retail traders see the wick, panic, and exit exactly where you wanted. Third method, session opens, when London or New York liquidity floods in. Price sweeps every obvious level in seconds, then reverses the entire move. You're not predicting the market here. You are simply harvesting bad habits. Every trader who skips a buffer on their stop is feeding this system. Every trader who uses round numbers is basically painting a target sign. Tonight, one real trader walks straight into this trap without any warning. Meet trader number one. We'll call him Marcus. 3 weeks into trading. Marcus just deposited $500 and feels completely unstoppable right now. He opens a Eurodollar buy. Stop loss placed exactly at the swing low. No buffer, no cushion, just the obvious number every beginner chooses instead. His position size is too large too. Nearly 4% risk exposed. From your seat, his stop isn't hidden. It's glowing brighter than anyone else's. You didn't even have to search for him. He found you instead. Let's watch what happens next, because this is where it gets ugly. Price approaches Marcus's entry, hovering just above his exposed stop loss level. You nudge the spread, just slightly, just enough to reach 1 pip further. The wick forms, sharp and sudden, straight through his stop loss line. Marcus's position closes instantly, and his account drops by 20%. Seconds later, price reverses completely, moving exactly where his original trade predicted. He was right about the market and still lost almost everything anyway. That's the part beginners never understand. Being right isn't the same as surviving. Marcus stares at his screen, confused, refreshing a chart that already moved on. From your chair, this wasn't personal. It was simply Tuesday's easiest profit. And Marcus is only the first name on tonight's very long list. Alright, stepping out of the broker's chair for a second, because that story is real. Marcus isn't one person. He's thousands of traders losing the exact same way daily. I'm Austin, and I built a Telegram specifically to stop stories like his. It's called FX Austin, and every post shows exactly where hunts like this happen. Entry, stop placement, buffer size, all reviewed before the market can punish mistakes. It's free, it's daily, and it exists because Marcus shouldn't have been a target. Search, for example, Austin on Telegram right now before we get back into that chair. Alright, let's climb back into the control room because the hunt isn't finished. Marcus was one account. Right now, this system is watching 2,000 others. Every red dot on this wall is a stop loss sitting exposed right now. Some cluster near obvious support, others near yesterday's high. Equally predictable targets. You don't hunt one trader at a time anymore. You hunt entire clusters. One spread adjustment during a news release can trigger hundreds of stops instantly. The bigger the cluster, the more liquidity available, the larger tonight's harvest becomes. Watch this next wall of accounts, all open within the same 10 minutes. Same broker, same platform, same predictable round number stop loss placement. Every single one. It's almost too easy until tonight, when one account refuses to fit the pattern. Most traders never even realize a hunt happened. They just blame bad luck. They call it volatility. You call it Tuesday, or really any day at all. But something is different about one account on this wall tonight. Watch closely. This trader's stop loss isn't sitting at an obvious number at all. It's placed with a buffer beyond real structure, exactly where hunts usually fail. Position size looks calculated too, nothing close to the greed we usually see. For the first time tonight, your usual move might not actually work here. You've hunted thousands of accounts exactly like Marcus's without a single hesitation. This one feels different, and you don't yet know exactly why. That different feeling starts here. 18 pips of buffer past the swing low. 18 pips of buffer means your usual wick probably won't even reach it. Still, you widen the spread anyway, testing exactly how deep this buffer runs. The wick spikes, reaches close, then falls 3 pips short of the target. For the first time tonight, the hunt completely misses its intended prey. You stare at the screen, genuinely confused, because this never happens twice. Most accounts fold on the first attempt. This one didn't even flinch. You check the position size next, expecting the usual greedy overexposure. 1% risk, calculated precisely, nothing close to what you're used to. This trader isn't guessing. They're executing something that looks disturbingly like a plan. You've hunted thousands of accounts tonight. None of them look like this. Something about this one account is starting to genuinely irritate you. 3 things kept this account alive tonight, and you're about to learn them. Most traders place stops exactly at the swing point, the obvious number. This trader placed theirs 18 pips beyond it, past normal market noise. That buffer absorbs a wick attack without ever triggering the actual order. Second, their position size was small enough to survive being wrong entirely. Small risk means no panic. No need to move the stop in fear. Third, and this matters most, they simply weren't watching the chart tonight. No emotion to exploit means no impulsive decision for you to trigger. You can't hunt a trader who isn't reacting to every single candle. Patience, apparently, is the one weapon your entire system has no answer for. That single realization sits uncomfortably with you as you scan for another target. 3 protections, invisible to the eye, completely broke your favorite strategy tonight. Fine, if a small wick won't work, let's try something considerably larger. You wait for the next major news release, spread widening across every pair. Price rips violently through dozens of accounts, stops triggering in rapid succession. You check the buffered account immediately, certain this size of move landed. It came close, painfully close, 3 pips short of the buffer again. Whoever set this stop clearly planned for exactly this kind of spike. You try a session open sweep next, London liquidity flooding in fast. Dozens of obvious stops trigger instantly across the wall of monitors. The buffered account barely moves. Price never even approaching its structure. You try New York open too, another wave, another wall of profit. Still, that one account sits untouched, refusing every single method you own. For the first time tonight, you're not hunting anymore, you're studying. This trader built something that doesn't care what mood the market is in. You almost respect it, which is a strange feeling in this particular chair. Almost. You still have one more method left before the night ends. The slowest, cruelest method, waiting for the trader to make a mistake. While you wait for one mistake, the rest of the wall keeps bleeding. Another account triggers, round number stop, no buffer, textbook predictable behavior. Another one after that, same story, same greed, same missing protection. You barely have to try anymore, but one account never joins the tally. The heat map refreshes constantly, new red dots replacing every one you clear. It's less like hunting now, more like harvesting a field that regrows nightly. Thousands of dollars move from their accounts into the system every hour. None of them ever see your chair, your console, or your name. They just see red numbers and assume the market simply hated them tonight. It didn't hate them and never even noticed they existed individually. Back to the buffered account, still sitting there, stubbornly refusing to move. You've tried 3 separate methods, each one failing in the exact same way. A flicker crosses one of your screens, static briefly distorting the heat map. You dismiss it, but it happens again a few seconds later. Longer this time. For a moment, the wall shows every account, protected and unprotected alike. Then it corrects itself, red dots returning, most of the room still exposed. You tell yourself it's nothing, just old hardware in an old system. But some part of you already knows exactly what that flicker meant. One disciplined account exists. It survived every method built into this chair. If one account can do it, the question becomes, how many others could? That question sits heavier than it should for someone sitting where you sit. You built this system to profit from certainty, from predictable human mistakes. An unpredictable account breaks the entire premise this chair was built on. You glance at the console, hand hovering. unsure which lever even applies here. For the first time tonight, hunting doesn't feel like the powerful position. It feels uncomfortably, like watching a door you can't quite reach close. The wall keeps glowing red around you, business continuing exactly as designed. But one single dot keeps sitting there, green, calm, completely out of reach. You've spent tonight learning everything about how to hunt the average trader. This account just taught you something you never expected to learn tonight. Some players simply refuse to be prey, no matter how the game is rigged. And once you see one, you start noticing how few of them exist. The night isn't over. Neither is this account's story, or yours. One more approach remains, and it might finally answer your question. This is the answer. One final manual attempt, no algorithm, just you. You isolate the buffered account, watching every single tick in real time. Everything else has failed, so direct human pressure is the last resort. You widen the spread manually, inch by inch, watching the buffer closely. The price creeps toward the line, closer than it has ever come. One more pip, just one, and this account finally joins the list. You push harder, spread stretching past anything you've used all night. The wick reaches the buffer exactly, hovering right on the very edge. Could one more pip actually break a properly buffered account tonight? Then price snaps back, refusing the final pip, refusing you completely. You sit back, and for the first time tonight, you actually laugh. Not from amusement, from something closer to surrender, and you know it. While you sat there manually failing, the trade you were hunting matured. Price finally reached the level this trader had been patiently waiting for. The take profit triggers cleanly, the position closes exactly as planned. A calm 2% gain lands quietly, with zero drama attached to it. No panic, no revenge, no scrambling, just the plan executing itself perfectly. You watch the account grow slightly greener while everything around it stays red. This trader will never know how close their money came to vanishing. Do they even know rooms like this exist, hunting accounts every night? That anonymity stings worse than any failed hunt ever could tonight. One entire night spent hunting someone who never even noticed you. Meanwhile, dozens of other accounts around them still glow bright and red. Same night, same market, two completely different outcomes. One simple difference. The wall flickers again, longer this time, the static refusing to settle. For a moment, every account on the wall glows the exact same color. Then slowly, more dots start shifting from red toward that same calm green. You watch, frozen, as the system you build starts rewriting its own rules. It's not a malfunction anymore. Something in this room is actually changing. Maybe it was always changing, and tonight you simply finally noticed it. The console lights dim slightly, as if the chair itself is losing power. You reach for a lever out of habit, and your hand finds nothing. For the first time all night, this chair doesn't feel like yours anymore. And somewhere beneath the fiction, something far more honest is about to happen. Because this control room was never really real, and neither tonight are you. What's real is the trader. What's real is the choice they actually made. Alright, dropping the entire act, because everything you just watched was true. I'm Austin, and that control room was a story built around real math. Real brokers don't sit in glowing chairs, but stop hunting genuinely happens daily. The trader who survived tonight didn't survive by accident or by luck. 3 specific choices protected them, and you can make the exact same ones. First, buffer your stop loss well beyond the obvious predictable swing point. Second, risk a small fixed percentage, never enough to panic if wrong. Third, build a plan before entry so you never need to watch it. Those 3 choices are boring, unglamorous, and they are the entire difference. Marcus lost his account to a hunt he never even saw coming. The buffered trader kept theirs, using nothing except patience and discipline. You get to choose which story becomes yours, starting with your very next trade. I built something specifically to help you become the second kind of trader. Let me actually show you, because this part isn't fiction at all. It's called FX Austin, a Telegram channel built entirely around this exact idea. Every post breaks down actual entries, exact stop placement, and true buffer sizing. You will see exactly where a hunt like Marcus's would have happened and why. You will also see exactly why certain setups simply refuse to get hunted at all. It's free, it's daily, and it exists because too many Marcuses exist already. I review setups before the market opens, not after the damage is done. Position size, stop placements, and risk to reward calculated before you risk anything. Most blown accounts share one missing ingredient, a properly placed stop buffer. You don't need a control room to protect your deposit, Just 3 habits. Search for example Austin on Telegram right now before tonight's lesson fades from memory. The link sits right below this video too, if that's easier for you. Come join, ask questions, share your setups. I actually read every message myself. This entire channel exists because nobody warned me before my own first hunt. I lost an account exactly like Marcus did, chasing the number with no buffer. I don't want you learning that lesson the same expensive way I did. So join now while tonight's story is still fresh in your mind. Somewhere tonight, a real broker is watching a real heat map exactly like this. The only question left is which account glows on their screen, red or green. Buffer your stops, size your risk, build your plan, and simply stop watching. Become the account that never makes it onto anyone's wall of targets. I'll see you in the next video and hopefully inside FX Austin too. Stop being the target tonight. Learn to think like the one hunting instead.